Black History Month to me just means a celebration of all of our achievements as a people. So just everything that we've done from, you know, an American history standpoint, just kind of like, you know, all the things we've been through, all the struggle, and not even just that, but how we persevered and overcame those struggles and how we continue to make a better life for ourselves. So all of our leaders, all of our historic people, all of our figures, it's just a celebration of that, and just being able to relive and to celebrate those people and the things that they've done and us as a community.
Black History Month means to me finding and building our culture from past all the way up until now, all the way up into the future. I see it where we don't know where most of us even came from. We know the motherland, but we don't know exactly what parts. So with Black history for us, we're learning, we're developing, we're growing as a community, as a unit, and building what we've missed out on for the most part.
Black History Month, in the grand scheme of things, like even with like high school, college, it's always meant us coming together across the diaspora as a family. So no matter where we were from, we could all connect from just being Black all across the country, across multiple platforms. No matter what it was, it felt like we were all cousins in that month. So it was really a family sense.
What Black History Month means to me, it means just to show respect and show honor to the ones that came before us, the ones that fought the struggle. So, you know, me and many more African Americans, Blerds to be exact, to, you know, a way to express ourselves, to, you know, stand out, to make a difference in our community, and just to be a part of this history. Because what we're doing, we actually being ourselves, like the pioneers before us being themselves, making a stand in life. And we remember those people like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Madam C.J. Walker, for what they did and what they contribute to our community. And I feel like we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it in our way to reach other people that are like me and you.
I think Black History Month, one, it should be more than a month. Two, it's a time where we can be intentional about celebrating ourselves, and I love that we have like a public way of displaying that. As far as goes, folks tend to really tap into their history more, and there's so many local events to go to and to attend, so I appreciate that about the month.
What does Black History Month mean to me? So of course, it's always, you know, celebrating Black people all year round. But Black History Month specifically, I think is a moment to really celebrate, appreciate, remember, acknowledge those who came before us. I think it's a chance to be more intentional with learning new things about our history and our contributions, not just to this country, but to the world as a whole. So that's what Black history means to me, is really that moment to shine light on those before us, you know, that paved that pathway for us.
Black History Month to me is kind of complex because, I mean, at the same time, Black history is just American history. That's what it is. It's woven into the fabric of this nation, and the fact that we had to plead and ask and beg to kind of get this holiday or this moment for us to point out to everybody else that yeah, Black Americans are dope. It's just a little conflicted on it. I do appreciate the fact that we get to celebrate because Black folks go out for Black History Month. So you're getting like just all this culture, all of this just dope swag that Black people have. You get it condensed in a month, but I would like it, you know, for it to be a thing where it's year round. Like we're swagalicious year round. We're dope year round. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
Man, Black History Month, honestly, it just growing up in the DMV area in DC, every time this month comes around, my mom, she has this book that we always would read, and it had all Black history from like slavery to Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, to Malcolm X. And, you know, it's stuff they don't really teach you in school, but you really learn with your family. And so really Black History Month to me, it really means family. Like just learning about your family, learning about your history. learning about your culture and doing it with your family, because we the only ones we got. We got to teach ourselves everything that has to be said.
So in my opinion, as a Black content creator and a cosplayer, I'm the type of person that really likes to take pride in being Black. And I definitely think it's a month in where we bring empowerment and shed light on all those Black creators that, work 10 times, their butt off to really get noticed. Because with the algorithm and stuff nowadays, it's really hard for Black people to really, get famous or go viral unless if they're like a celebrity or something. Because I know from my experience, me being a small business owner and a cosplayer, and while I do have a lot of followers combined, it is hard for me to, go viral or, really get my cosplays to like the amount of engagement that I want it to be without, sending it to other people so they can promote it, or me constantly promoting it on my story, or, doing TikToks and stuff like that. And I just feel like it's a great month to have, because we not only get to honor the people that paved the way for Blacks in the history, such as Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and such, but also for Black creators online. And it also kind of ties into Black Fae Day, which is like a Black Fairy Day that happens in May, and all these other events that have been able to start up because of, the Black Lives Matter movement and everything, and just people becoming more and more aware with all these Black history events happening throughout the year, that they're more aware that, we matter, we're human just like them. And, we've done a lot of things, and we need more people to help us, shed light on us and to not shut us out in a world that's filled with racism.
So Black History Month for me, it just means a moment of reflection and a moment of like celebrating the people from the past and the people that are doing it now. My pops, he was somebody that taught me the extended version of Black history, where, that in school, they don't really teach us everything that we need to know, but my pops, he was on it. And, we learned about not just the big three or the major names that they always put in every year. And so because of that, it empowered me to look more into just our history and be a little bit more aware of people that are making history in the moment. And I appreciate that. I'm able to see some people and get motivated by what they're doing. I'm able to see where we came from and be strengthened by knowing that path and that walk of life that we came from. So Black History Month for me, man, it really means just a moment of us being us, man. It's just us being here and celebrating all of that.
To me, Black History Month is a time for just celebrating Blackness, celebrating our past, celebrating our present, celebrating our future, however we can. I think it's important to kind of reflect on the things that we have, been posed as challenges, but not necessarily in a way that's traumatic, because I think a lot of people associate Black History Month with trauma or revisiting traumatic events. And I don't think that that's, even though I think that those things are important, I don't think that they're necessary, and that we can have other conversations and kind of reminisce on the things like, well, what are things that we have accomplished? What are the really cool things that we have done? Where are the times that we have done, honorable or really notable things that haven't been rooted in some kind of like racist trauma or, very violent, traumatic history, although those things are very important. But I think that a lot of the time when it's not pertaining to those scenarios, that sort of stuff gets kind of pushed to the wayside, which is why we kind of see, this uptick in, well, let's talk about, these civil rights, struggles, and let's talk about specifically this very violent instance in, civil rights history, when there's so much more to us than that, including our present. What are people, the really dope Black folks around us doing? Because we are making history just as we stand with everything that we're doing, everything that you're doing, everything that I'm doing. I think that that's a fair part of Black history.
Black History Month for me is I look back at our past, at where we came from, and It's a way for us to highlight and honor those that came before us and the work that they did. I think it's important for us as a people to study our history, know our history year round, and definitely understand where we came from so we can know where we're going. But Black History Month, I think, is kind of a way for us to incorporate other people during that month, people that normally wouldn't be looking at Black history, because we're still not at a point where it's in schools and every place else, and that's something we're working on. And I think Black history is the one time we have right now where it's kind of focused.
Black History Month to me means an opportunity to celebrate, uplift, and highlight Black people, specifically Black Americans who have contributed to the better of society. Change makers, tastemakers, influencers, and just celebrate how we have shaped Western culture, American culture, and specifically Black culture, Black American culture.
Black History Month means to me, I feel like we should be celebrated all year round. But of course, this gives us, it's like a month that's dedicated to us that we can think about. I don't know. I guess I start thinking about the characters, and I think about, I guess, where we are now, especially in the, I guess, the Blerd community, I guess you could say. So, like, for me, I just start thinking about the characters that I love, that I can't wait to see on screen. It's one I think of immediately is Status Shock. And also, like, I am, like, behind me here, you see the scroll from the Power Rangers movie, right? I thought to put that behind me because I just started thinking about, like, the first, Power Rangers that, like, I feel like that's the first time I saw somebody like me on, on the screen. That's my first fandom, I guess you could say. And I guess that's the first thing I think about when I think about Black History Month.
Black History Month to me is simply a reminder to those who don't celebrate all of the contributions or acknowledge the culture that has done so much to create and to build this country. It is a month for us to be all up in your shit to remind y'all. Yes, we celebrated 365 days a year, but there are people that don't. And this one month is our opportunity to hopefully get some of those people on our side to celebrate every single goddamn day.
Black History Month means a celebration of our culture, a celebration of African American culture, a celebration of where we come from, and all of the successes that we've had in spite of all the adversities that we've seen for the last half a millennia.
That's a heavy question. What Black History Month means to me is pretty much, of course, celebrating our ancestors, but also learning where we came from. It's also a time which, of course, should be 365 because we live being Black 365, 66 or the leap year. It's just knowing where we came from, understanding where we're going and where we stand now. So learning everyone that came before us, whether it's historical figures or people in our family. So that's what Black history means to me, is really showing the past, the present, and also the future.
For me, Black History Month is a reminder of not how far we've come, not how far we have to go, but of what we have to retain within ourselves and build for ourselves so that we can celebrate each other every single day. And the fact that we have survived all that we have and all that is mentioned in what is considered Black History Month, so much so that we can celebrate ourselves and each other every single day of the year. And so I see Black History Month as a reminder of all that we've endured that makes everything we're doing absolutely necessary across generations.
And Black History Month, to me, what it means is it's a time for celebration. Like, I know a lot of people look at history and it's like, a time to reflect, but for me, it's a time to celebrate. Like, as Black people in America anyway, like, we came through like so much stuff. Like, Black History Month, that's that time we need to celebrate all that, like all the achievements, like not just civil rights or things like that, not just films, not just comic books, not just music. We gotta celebrate it all. Like, that celebration, like, that's it. That's Black History Month for me.
Black History Month means a lot of things. Obviously, it means learning about the past, about great folks that have created movements, people that have liberated us as a culture, our communities, and people that have invented really great things. And by people, I mean Black people. So that's what Black History means to me. But also, it means Black futures. So it's people that are currently doing stuff to be able to innovate and create new technology, build new bridges with our community. So it's more than just looking at the past, it's also looking at what is happening now and how we are creating our future.
Black History Month, I see it as an outsider looking in because this is mainly American, US, United States celebration of Black culture. It's not seen as much outside of US or specifically in Latin America. It's not seen as much, partly because we are the community is very mixed, and many don't think that there is a separation of the Black communities. So looking in, I look at it as a real opportunity. It's something that will be great to implement in all the Latin American countries, because it will be great to promote, to learn of the local history, the Black culture, that many of the local culture of Latin American people are based on the Black culture, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Latinos. So it will be a great opportunity for us to learn about our own history.
Black History Month is like a great opportunity for folks to learn more about the expansive Black history that exists in the world. I think while it's important and necessary to highlight people and Black people, I think we need more than a month. I know we need more than a month. We need to do this all year, all the time. And I do all the time. I mean, I'm Black and I'm very proud to be Black. And so I think it's an excellent opportunity for people to build. But I do wish people would stop being a little last minute with the asks and remember that it happens every year. So you can plan earlier if you want to highlight Black people during Black History Month. I also think that people should pay Black people more during Black History Month. If you're going to ask us to do something to highlight us during this specific time, I think it also should be something that doesn't become an opportunity to tokenize people, like celebrate pioneers and people in that way, because I feel like even with pioneership, like you can either be considered a token or a pioneer in the same space. And so what do you have to do? What are the actions that you have to take in order to make sure that folks do not feel tokenized, but instead empowered as a pioneer and respected for the work that they do, and as Black individuals. So I think Black History Month is important. I think that it should be something that is expanded upon on a regular basis, and not just as a quota filler for some, but as a way of really embracing the beautiful aspects of Black culture and even Black future.
Oh man, it's archiving, right? I think for me, and obviously Black history can be history in terms of like far past, but to me, how I've been kind of internalizing Black History Month of late is trying to remember and remind folks that a lot of things we think of a Black history ain't that long ago, right? Like there was I think, on Martin Luther King's birthday, he would have been, I think it was 93 this year, which is wild because we were going to celebrate Betty White turning 100, right? So I think about Black history in a context of a lot of these things that we celebrate are not that long ago. Now, obviously there are things that are, but I think that's important because a lot of the things that are symbolic of injustices and whatnot are things that are still happening. The things that's still current. So I like trying to keep the perspective of a lot of the things that we conceptualize as Black history that have affected us in the present weren't actually that long ago and may still be very much with us, influencing us, or even the status quo.
Oh man, my dad brought me up in Black history, so it was like every day. So Black History Month is like, it's like a stamp on like history, like yo, we were here, we've been here, right? Like Arthur Schomburg's whole thing was his teacher told him that Black folks never did anything in history, and then he created a whole museum showcasing all the things we did in history, and like that is like Black History Month. Like, no, you can't say like we weren't out here doing all these things. Look at all these things we've done. And it surpasses just a month because it's history, right? You can't confine history to just a month. I'm glad that everyone gets to celebrate it for the month. Like we really get to see like, yo, it's really like itchy. It's 365, 366 because we include leap year as well. Like it is like something you live with like daily. You know what I mean?
Black History Month means to me, it actually changed. Like, I mean, you think you grew up, like when you think of growing up in school and everything, it's more of like hearing about all of the marches and everything like that. But now, as you get older and you're out of school, like Black History Month to me looks like the celebration of everybody that has pretty much grew up in that time. So we're seeing a lot more, especially with social media around, you're seeing a lot more just explosive like content on it. You get people with so much more praise about it. So you get a bigger, vast view of what Black history has and what it's done for everybody and what it's done for us as people. So I mean, for me now, it's a totally different look at it. Like that, it's a full 28 days or however days it would be if we in a leap year, 9 year. You know what I'm saying? Like of just pure Black shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why.
What it means to me for Black History Month is that we got a month. We got a whole month, which we really shouldn't, but we have a whole month of us just celebrating being Black, letting people know like, hey man, like we have our own month. Like, come on now. Like who doesn't want to have their own month as a Black person for a whole month? Even though we can't really do nothing and stuff like that, but it means a lot because it means that we're valuable and stuff like that. But at the same time, like I know that's going to extend even longer than just having 1 month. We're gonna extend like for 24 hours, full year, all that stuff, dude. So to me, it means a lot, honestly. And like even for my ancestors from the past was just fighting for something like this for us in the future, and I really do appreciate it, honestly.
Black History Month means to me is it's crazy to me because the fact that like I felt growing up in school and everything, I feel like not a lot of people, or I guess that's not true. I feel like as an adult, I'll definitely say there was a lot more meaning to it than it was as a kid. Because I felt like growing up, we obviously covered a lot of the major basis of like, you know, Martin Luther King and like a bunch of other famous Black people in history. But I feel like now as an adult, we get to actually just celebrate just everybody in our lives doing something. And even if it's small creators or podcasters or streamers or things like that, like it's just really nice that like as a community, we've kind of really started to, instead of just kind of teaching us to just kind of celebrate people who in the past have paved the way for us, I feel like now it's kind of like, hey, there are people who are still currently doing that. They just might not have as much support. So I think to me, it gives me, I mean, I try to celebrate it obviously all year round, but I feel like it's also just a really nice time to really showcase people who might not get as much foot traffic or eyes on their content and everything. And that's where I get the most excited, because then I grab all of like these people, or even just finding new people that I don't even know, like I said, like creators or people who are working in certain businesses and things like that, and just really trying to just show support and shed a light on them, because I feel like, you know, even though we should be doing this all the time, I'm going to take this entire month to really showcase like these, you know, like Black creators or Black people who are doing just amazing things. And yeah, so that's just how important it is to me, what it means to me. So yeah.
Black History Month means to me the ability to break barriers. I think it's really cool that we have this month where we celebrate Black excellency, And I can't wait for it to just be the norm, to the point where we're no longer breaking records. Everything is just normalized in the United States. That's obviously the goal, but I think that it's really cool that I get to live in a generation where we're still breaking those records, being like the first Black woman, first Black man, of all of these things that are happening around me. So I really appreciate Black history because it definitely pushes the excellency of being Black.
For me personally, Black History Month, when I really think about it, I think about like the sacrifices that pretty much everybody before us gave to give us the opportunity to even be here today. I mean, even me sitting here talking to you, you know, it took a lot of sacrifice to get to this point. And for me too, it's capitalizing on those opportunities. You know, like some of our ancestors literally just couldn't do what we're doing now. So the fact that they gave what they gave to give us the opportunity today, I mean, I don't take that lightly.
For me, Black History Month really is just celebrating everything in our culture, learning a lot about history, a lot of things that we might not have known, probably taught in school and everything like that. But I really see it as just us celebrating our culture and what makes us so unique and what makes us so special and everything like that. So it's really cool to also be able to find other Black creatives that I haven't been able to probably find on my own. But since there's so much like, so many people are like sharing other people's content and like, you know, really putting other people out there. It's so cool to just see like, oh wow, you're really good, or oh wow, you're really cool at this. And it's just that's what I find. That's what I really like about it. Just being able to find other Black people who are so creative and all this stuff, and be able to look at all their stuff and be like, oh my god, this is so cool! Wow, that was like 3 answers in one. But yeah, that's what it means to me.
So I would say celebrating the advancement and achievement of Black people. Obviously, we already know we moved the culture here. And even outside of that, there's so much stuff today that wouldn't be here without us that don't get talked about for whatever reasons you want to say. So using Black History Month to be able to celebrate all of that and really showcase who we are as a people and what we bring to make everything better. It's huge.
Yeah, so Black History Month for me, I guess in a nutshell, it is a look back and a celebration at everything that we have been through as a people, as a culture. You know, everything from our family, lineage, heritage, all that stuff. So yeah, like I said, just kind of simply put, it's just a time to kind of reflect on what has come before, as well as to also kind of look ahead to the possibilities that, you know, that lay before us. So that's kind of, you know, my answer to that.
Black History Month for me is a month in which we celebrate our collective history. Our history is important, it's incredible, and it should be celebrated. It should be celebrated for the entirety of the year, because Black history is American history, it is British history. But within this month, this is the space in which we should truly celebrate it.